Ah, pasta. I mean, for so many of us, it's the ultimate comfort food, right? It's simple, it's delicious. But if you're trying to manage diabetes, that bowl of spaghetti can feel like a total minefield. It's this constant battle in your head. Can I actually enjoy this without my blood sugar going completely haywire? Yeah, that question can be super stressful. You see that beautiful plate of pasta, and your brain just instantly kicks into overdrive, calculating carbs, thinking about insulin, worrying about that spike you might be dealing with for hours. But what if it didn't have to be like that? What if you could actually have your pasta and keep your blood sugar in check too? Well, let's dive right in, because today we're breaking down an amazing 35-year journey to answer that exact question. This isn't based on theory. It's based on hundreds of real-world tests with different brands, different types of pasta, and all sorts of cooking methods. Okay, so here's the deal. The creator of our source material put 10 different kinds of pasta to the test, rating every single one on two really simple but totally crucial things. How does it taste? And what does it do to my blood sugar? We're going to start with the one most of us probably have sitting in our cupboard right now. Let's kick things off with a true classic, that blue box of Barilla spaghetti. As you can see, even a small portion is packing about 40 grams of carbs with less than 2 grams of fiber. With barely any fiber to pump the brakes, all that starch turns into sugar really, really fast. And boom, here you see the fundamental problem. The taste? Amazing, a 9 out of 10. No complaints there. But the blood sugar impact? Oof, a 2 out of 10. The tests showed that even with insulin, a small serving sent blood sugar flying up to 200 milligrams per deciliter. So that's our starting point, and it sets the stage for everything else. Now, before we jump to the next pasta, we have to talk about a super important warning. You know how we're all taught to think brown is healthier? Brown rice, brown bread, so brown pasta must be better, right? Well, you have to be really careful because some companies use coloring to make their pasta look like whole grain when it's really not. So the lesson here, and this is a direct quote from the source, is that you've got to become a label detective. Don't just trust the pretty picture or the color on the front of the box. You got to flip it over and read the ingredients and the nutrition facts. That's where the truth is. So what are we looking for when we're playing detective with that label? It really boils down to this simple golden rule. You want to see fewer carbs and way more fiber and protein. It's all about shifting that ratio. Fiber and protein are your best friends here because they slow everything down, which means you get a much gentler blood sugar rise. Let's see how this rule plays out with another option. Okay, now check this out. Edamame spaghetti. Just look at these numbers. Compared to the Barilla, it has half the carbs, only 20 grams. And get this, a whopping 13 grams of that is fiber, plus 24 grams of protein. I mean, this is a completely different ballgame. And the scores really tell the story. The blood sugar impact? An incredible 9 out of 10. It stayed under 120 milligrams per deciliter for the whole test. And the taste? You know what? A pretty solid 6 out of 10. It has a mild flavor that lets your sauce be the star. This stuff is a serious contender for an everyday pasta swap. But what if you could find a pasta with literally zero impact on your blood sugar? I mean, not a small impact, but zero. Does something like that even exist? Turns out it does. It's called shirataki noodles, and these things are wild. As you can see, they have pretty much 0 calories and 0 net carbs. That's because they're not really pasta in the traditional sense. They're made from something called the konjac plant, and they're almost all water and soluble fiber. So it's no surprise they get a perfect 10 out of 10 for blood sugar impact. The test showed absolutely no spike whatsoever. Now the catch is the texture. It's kind of slippery, a little jelly-like, so while it might not be your go-to for a classic marinara, it gets a decent 6 out of 10 for taste and is supposed to be amazing in things like stir-fries or ramen. Okay, so after testing all these different pastas, from the classics to ones made from chickpeas, lentils, you name it, how did they all stack up against each other? Let's take a look at the final leaderboard. All right, here we go. You can see the clear winners at the top when you combine both scores. Shirataki and edamame are up there because their blood sugar performance is just off the charts. But hey, look at whole grain penne in third place, a total score of 14. That's a fantastic balance between great taste and pretty good blood sugar control. And then way, way down at the bottom is the best tasting pasta of all. And this chart just perfectly sums up the big trade-off, doesn't it? On one side, you have that fancy artisanal spaghetti. Taste score? A perfect 10.
blood sugar score? A disastrous 1, sending levels over 220 milligrams per deciliter. And on the complete opposite end, you've got the shirataki noodles with a perfect blood sugar score, but a taste that's, well, it's not traditional pasta.
So this all leads to the million-dollar question, right? Do you have to eat these alternatives? Or is there a way to eat that delicious, high-carb, artisanal stuff, or even just the regular old Barilla, without getting on that blood sugar roller coaster? The answer, thankfully, is yes. And that brings us to what might be the most valuable part of this whole thing, the ultimate pasta playbook. These are 7 hacks you can use to help manage your blood sugar with any kind of pasta you want. This is about being strategic, not about restriction. All right, let's run through the playbook. Number 1, cook your pasta al dente. But it's still a little firm, it actually has a lower glycemic index. 2, cool it down. Chilling pasta after you cook it creates something called resistant starch, which your body treats more like fiber. 3, portion size is key. A real Italian serving is only about 2 ounces dry, way smaller than we think. 4, have an appetizer. A big salad with protein and fiber before the pasta hits can work wonders. 5, choose your sauce wisely. Tomato-based sauces are usually a safer bet than heavy cream sauces. 6, this one is magic. Go for a walk after you eat. It helps your muscles suck up all that glucose. And finally, number 7, if you use insulin, getting that timing just right is absolutely crucial. So after all this testing, all this data, what's the big takeaway here? It's not about finding one single perfect pasta that you have to eat for the rest of your life. It's about changing your mindset from feeling scared of food to feeling empowered and strategic about it. Look, at the end of the day, knowledge is your superpower. When you understand how different pastas affect you and you use these strategies from the playbook, like cooking it al dente or taking that walk, you can absolutely fit the foods you love into your life in a way that's healthier and so much less stressful. This whole journey just goes to show that with the right info and a few smart moves, you are in the driver's seat. So the final question isn't, can I even eat pasta? It's, how am I going to choose to eat it? Because now that you have the playbook, that choice is all yours.